Joining me now is that lawmaker who was at the White House today. It's Republican Congressman Tony Gonzales of Texas. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Chuck.
So, look, I'm sure somebody's, I hope, passed you what our polling showed. And what was fascinating, we laid out various issues this new Congress could tackle that seemed potential, whether it's climate change, abortion restrictions, things like that. A couple of different ways to tackle immigration. And the number one pick of our poll across the board was a compromise immigration bill that had border security priorities, path to citizenship with background checks, and that obviously very important there. The American public looks like they're further ahead than Congress. Is that fair to say?
The American public may be onto something. And, today is a good start. I think it's important to have dialogue. It's important to have serious conversations and see where that goes. In a divided government, there's no room for blaming other people. Like, we have to roll up our sleeves. This is, campaigning is where you divide. Governing is where you unite. I consider myself a governing conservative. There's many of us here on the Hill, and we can't just wait for leadership on all sides to solve things. It has to be from a ground-up approach, and I think there's an opportunity for rank-and-file members to do that.
The issue that broke up immigration in 2013 was essentially the order, right? The path to citizenship, the border security money. There are many conservatives who are like, look, I'm willing to discuss path to the citizenship after I know the border's secure. When you discuss, how would you best say, describe the sticking points with your White House meeting?
Chuck, I represent 42% of the southern border, over 800 miles. Places like Uvalde, Del Rio, Eagle Pass, El Paso. My district has been at the epicenter of it. I always start with border security. We can't talk about immigration reform unless we start with border security. Protecting our country from fentanyl and terrorists is extremely important. Now, when you talk about immigration, it's important to not have this anti-immigrant rhetoric. It's important to go, hey, how do we attract people that want to come and work and live the American dream? Maybe not pathway to citizenship or amnesty or some of these topics that drag us into nowhere fast. I think part of it is starting with sensible things and building it out from there.
So let me ask you about ending the COVID emergency, which would then end Title 42. There's a couple there. I know there was a proposal out there to end Title 42, but make it a penalty if somebody came to the border, was sent back, they couldn't come back to the border and try to get in for 6 months or a year or something like that. What do you want a post-Title 42 world to look like? It's going to happen, we know that. What do you want that restriction to look like, and how do you want it implemented?
That's a great question, Chuck. And, in a bipartisan manner, there have been both Democrats and Republicans that have said, hey, look, Title 42 is going to go away. We're okay with that. Just what are we going to transition to? Part of that is a front door, is essentially right now the immigration system is completely broken. How do you streamline it? How do you make it easier for people to come that warrant asylum, that want work visas? I think work visas solves a lot of this. You got to include the corporations as well, right? These employers, they have to have buy-in. These are some things that I think are sensible. We start there, we build out the conversation, but it has to start on border security.
Speaking of border security, today, Congressman Andy Biggs is introducing articles of impeachment against the Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas. Where do you stand on that? And do you think that's an effective way to try to enhance border security?
Yeah, Chuck, Secretary Mayorkas is a very popular guy in the Republican Party, as you can imagine.
I'm aware.
There's no doubt that we're going to have impeachment hearings. I want to see all the facts. Let's not come to conclusions until we have all the facts. And wherever the facts take us, the facts take us. But, rhetoric is one thing. I'm in a district that needs solutions. I'm in a district that needs help today, not 10 years from now. So I think it's important that we come with real solutions.
The problem I just don't understand is, like, he's an appointee of President Biden. So if you have a beef with him, take it to the top.
I know. And the other part of it is only one time in our nation's history has a secretary ever been impeached. So it's going to take a lot of time, effort, energy. And to me, I think that takes it away from some of the other things that are happening. But there's no doubt impeachment hearings are going to take place. But we have to see where that leads us.
It doesn't sound like you're a no on it, though.
I mean, we haven't even started the hearings yet. If I come out with a yes or no, I think that's, I mean, I'm no attorney, but it seems like that's bad optics to come up with a conclusion before you even start the trial. Then that makes it political. This can't be political. This has to be about policy, and the American people have to come first.
Are you saying the introduction of these articles of impeachment is not political?
Well, I think what we've seen is impeachment has been this word that is thrown around as like it's candy. I mean, this used to be a case of emergency break glass, and now everybody is going to that hammer in the first tool out of the toolbox. Yeah. I just think we need to pump the brakes and go, all right, let's have these hearings. Let's see where it takes us. But at the same time, the American public demand tangible results.
You luckily don't have the scar tissue of what so many other people that have been in Congress for a decade have. And you're right about these tools. Speaking of a tool that's getting used more frequently, stripping members of committee assignments. Where do you stand on this with Ilhan Omar?
You know, this was a tough one because I didn't appreciate the precedents that Democrats set when they stripped away some committees from Republicans' last Congress. I don't really like the fact that we're going down this route, this tit for tat. At the end of the day, you know, I think it's probably the right thing to do, per se. But I want us to get to real problems. You know, we can't be stuck in this, hey, you called me this, you did this. American public demand real solutions. School safety, education, healthcare, border immigration. These are real problems that we need to tackle.
Why do you think it's the right thing to do to kick her off that committee? Is it that committee specifically?
I mean, look, at the end of the day, she's done a lot of things. She said a lot of things. I get that. You know, maybe this is a way to prevent other members from going down that road. You know, look, it's ugly all the way around. I'm not excited about this is the energy that we're taking. But at the same time, I mean, my focus right now is on the border, immigration, these type of things. And you got to make sure that, you know, there's only so much political capital you can use.
Wise words there. Well, like I said, the American public, they're ready for a grand bargain on immigration. Let's see if you guys can fulfill what they want. Congressman Tony Gonzales, Republican from South Texas, thanks for coming on, sharing your perspective with us.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.